Hello my friends, welcome all of you, almost 105,000 star seeds, light workers and wanderers to this beautiful channeling session where I have channeled Galactic Federation to ask about very wonderful queries which many of you had sent. First of the query which I have channeled about is related with what is the real agenda of Threads app, which was recently released by Mark Zuckerberg. So this has been revealed and it is vital for humanity to understand what is the real agenda of this application. So it is revealed in the session. The second question which I have asked is about what are the 3 signs which entities or people will see when they become ready to enter into the new earth. So this is, I believe, the most important session for all of us who desire to graduate into the new earth, and the 3 signs have been revealed. And other one is I have asked about what are actually the crystal skulls and what is their origins and what is their use and how were they used. So that has been described. Also finally I have asked about the soul evolutionary journey of Joe Rogan. Many of you had requested his past lives and soul journey and his soul's identity. It has been revealed in this session. So with that being said, I hope you'll enjoy the session, and we have a meditation coming up for Looking Glass event. And I hope all of you who are interested can participate on my Patreon. The link is on my bio. Also, I want to say thank you to all of you for liking this video, because with your like, it will help it to reach out to other people, and it is a service to humanity that you're doing. With that being said, enjoy the session, my friends.
We are the Galactic Federation, and we are now communicating at this time through this instrument's vibratory connection, which has opened and allowed our vibrations to be transmitted to the human collective consciousness at this timeline. However, we, the Galactic Federation, recommend all entities to trust their own inner heart and only accept those thought forms which resonate deeply with the inner heart of the self, and let go of those thought forms which provide a deeper sense of clarity within the timeline. Furthermore, we would like to state and address the first query which has been presented related with what is the real agenda of an application known as Threads, social media software which was generated and created by an entity known as Mark Zuckerberg. We must state that firstly, this application known as Threads can be seen to be a massive use in certain locations, such as in the Western Hemisphere as well as in some portions of the Eastern Hemisphere. Furthermore, it is spreading at a faster rate, and many entities are accepting this as a means of communication system. However, we can sense that this application primarily generates a portal by using its symbolism of 666, which is primarily embedded in its logo design as known by your people. Furthermore, whenever an entity opens up the application, it activates a portal which is allowing the energetic signature of the entity to be extracted and to be sent to a location wherein the entity known as Mark Zuckerberg and its counterparts decides. Furthermore, we must state that since the entity known as Mark Zuckerberg has been in contact and has a soul swap indeed with many of the Other negatively oriented reptilian social memory complexes who are working with the Orions. The entity primarily transmits the data to the Mars planetary sphere wherein they are, creating, in a way, a system to collect all the information of energy vibrations, frequency, and the energy signature of every single individualized portion of consciousness who uses this device. And this application eventually, as per the information received by the Aster Command Social Memory Complex, it is their desire to create a system that will generate or create a customized system of imbalance for each individualized portion of consciousness. This means that any type of customization can be done based upon the signature or the vibration of each individual entity. Furthermore, this means that they want to create catalysts of negative nature such as fear, which would be created through the application known as Thread Spy, providing them suitable vibrations in order to move them towards the negative polarization of service to self and of fear vibrations. Therefore, with the Galactic Federation must state that this application of threads primarily is an invitation to accept the energetic signatures from each entity which is being transported for the purpose of the Luciferian social memory complex. Furthermore, we recommend each entity who wants to protect itself to firstly try to stay away from this application, and also, if possible, send vibrations of protective love energy, which will then, in a way, disrupt their plans, since the entities are afraid of the vibration of love. And if all entities who open the application known as Thread send love and light through this application, then the negative entities will primarily be bombarded with the love vibration, and hence they will stop attaching themselves to such types of applications, and hence they will probably move away from the location of the Earth planets. Furthermore, we the Galactic Federation shall now address the other query related with what are the 3 signs that entities are going to the new Earth. We the Galactic Federation firstly must state that we are going to share only 3 of the top signs which each entity will face when they are going into the new Earth. Furthermore, these signs are realized by all entities who are eligible for graduating into the new Earth, and if they find any of these signs, they will more than likely graduate into the new Earth after their incarnation ends. The first is the entities begin to realize that they are no longer just the body or the mind complex, and they begin to recognize that they are pure awareness or consciousness who is temporarily established into a physical bodily complex. Furthermore, these entities also begin to recognize the oneness of all beings, even the second density beings, since they recognize that even the second density animal life forms, they are part of the system of the illusion complex, and hence there is a spiritual complex or awareness inside those entities. Therefore, these entities, once they realize this aspect, begin to feel the vibration of tremendous amounts of love within the inner heart. And furthermore, they recognize that they are consciousness in the incarnation. Further, the other query relates with the vibration of looking back at one's experiences of the life experiences which have been conducted till the present. If an entity has practiced 50% or higher service to others, which may be considered as various methods of helping others through the process of such as giving charity, practicing helping others, forgiving others, and even a smile may be considered as the pathway of service to others, since it helps to lighten the vibration of all entities. If such actions are done, and an entity becomes aware that it has done more than 50% of service to others, then the entity has received a sign that it will enter into the new earth of the fourth density consciousness. Furthermore, in order to guarantee this aspect, we recommend the entity in the earth planet to practice the art of giving 10% of their income or higher to charitable causes to help those who are in need, which is the greatest pathway of service to others, and all entities who practice this aspect for a period of only 1 year will become not only eligible, but they will receive such higher levels of vibrations that they will be invited to the new earth. Therefore, we recommend all entities to practice this using their own free will at this space-time. The other query relates with the vibrations of the third sign is that each entity who becomes eligible for the new earth begins to feel an inexplainable love for all beings, and this unexplainable love for all beings emerges only when the entity recognizes that all beings are one, and that all beings are the Self or the One Infinite Creator. Therefore, this sign is felt by those entities who begin to realize that they are one, and all beings, even the entity who may have incarnated into a different physical body, is indeed its own self, which is also the essence of the One Infinite Creator. Therefore, with this realization, there begins to emerge an unconditional vibration of love, which will provide the entity to become eligible for realizing the sign, which is indeed the sign that the entity will enter into the new earth vibration. Furthermore, these are the primary signs which many entities will face or feel prior to graduating into the new earth. We shall now address the other portion of the query related with what is the significance of the crystal skulls? Firstly, we must state that crystal skulls are primarily a type of object or distortions which many entities upon your planetary sphere are fascinated by in order to understand, and they are using various systems of the culture of the nation in a symbolic and cultural fashion. Furthermore, the primary understanding firstly is that crystal skulls primarily were used by many of the ancient civilizations, which primarily were created by distinct groups of entities who were primarily found in the locations such as the Mayan and the Mesoamerican civilization, wherein these entities primarily knew about the use of the 13 crystal skulls. Furthermore, The entities primarily were able to use the crystal skulls through a process of realizing that whenever a so-called entity who became enlightened and the entity crossed over, the remains of the entity were preserved. Furthermore, the skull of the entity was preserved primarily for the process of crystallization, and in a certain location, if there were 13 entities, such as in the Mayan civilization, there were 13 of the enlightened masters who passed away from bodily complexes. Those skulls were collected, and these crystal skulls were primarily the crystallized crystal skulls. Since the entities who became enlightened, they had their energy vortexes move upwards through the energy centers, and they finally accumulate in the crown center, or the head area, or the top of the head, or the skull portion, wherein a crystallized portion or a crystalline structure is created. In such entities' incarnational rhythms during the process of enlightenment. Therefore, these crystal skulls primarily were used by the Mayans as a means of creating vortexes of energies, and furthermore, they were also being used to initiate other entities into the process of spiritual enlightenment and trigger a Kundalini awakening. Furthermore, these crystal skulls also were used by the Mayans and other civilizations primarily as the process of opening the gateway to connect with their enlightened masters who had crossed over. This acted as a means of communication, which allowed them to receive information in the form of systemic communication to this entity using the crystal skulls. Furthermore, we must state that this is the use of the crystal skull as we can sense in the space-time vibration. Now we shall answer the other query related with the understanding of the vibration of what is the soul evolutionary journey and the past life experience of an entity known as Joe Rogan on the space-time of the current incarnation on 1967, and the entity known as Joe Rogan in this timeline primarily is an example of an entity who may be considered as a entity who is in the pathway of fulfilling its mission as a wanderer by spreading the vibration of love. Furthermore, many entities upon your planetary sphere are finding the vibration of love and positivity emerging from the entity whenever it uses the vibratory sound complex known as words or speech in your space-time. This is the reason why many entities upon your planetary sphere find it pleasing to watch it speak. Furthermore, we must also state that the entity is a wanderer here at this timeline who has incarnated with a specific mission for the awakening of humanity, and we can sense that it is well on its pathway to do so. Furthermore, prior to this, it was found in the planet as known by the people as the planets of Zeta Reticuli, wherein the entity known as Joe Rogan spent 2 incarnations as a Zeta Reticulan entities who are primarily meant for learning about the vibration of stabilizing in the 4th density vibration of love. The basic lessons which it learned were learned in this timeline, allowing it to master the ability of stabilizing in the 4th density vibration, and furthermore, this also led the entity to become eligible for becoming a wanderer, and hence it decided to incarnate on the Earth planet. Further, prior to the incarnation on the Zeta Reticuli planetary sphere, it was found in the 3rd density level in one of its timeline in the human collective consciousness, wherein this entity was found in the location as known by the people of your planet as the location of Mexico in the space and time of around 1837. In the timeline, it began to learn the lessons as an entity who had incarnated under the so-called family who were the clan leaders of the time. Furthermore, during this timeline, it was able to provide much service to others, assist others, and also help others in their survival. This allowed the entity to also have the opportunity to practice charity and giving material possessions to help others in their life. Furthermore, it was also able to practice the art of forgiveness or forgiving others, and this made it eligible for graduating into the fourth density. Eventually, this entity was able to become polarized to a positive polarity. Furthermore, prior to this, it was found in the lands of as known as the lands of Egypt in the time of 11,900 years ago, wherein it had incarnated in the location of Kem. In the location, its major purpose was that of an entity learning to advance its self-awareness, and it learned interaction with others using language at the time, and it began to practice the art of singing as well, which allowed it to learn about the basic lessons of self-awareness. And prior to this, it was found in the planets of its origin, in the planets of Arcturus A, wherein the entity was found at a time of 304 million years ago, and was able to learn the lessons of a first density wind element, and was known by the soul name of Exu, which means the movement of lights in the language terms of the planet of its origin. Furthermore, we shall now leave you, beloveds, in lights and love. Bye.
My friends, now after watching the session, I hope you have understood. Basically, I'm going to give you a general brief understanding. What they've said is that the Threads application is primarily being used as a portal to transport our whoever uses that application, thought forms, emotions, and other kind of things are being transported to Mark Zuckerberg, who is in turn transporting it to Mars. So they can use it for negative purposes if they want, because if they have our data, if they know what we respond to, they can use they can trigger us, right? And the other thing is, they said that it is the symbol, the logo design is of 666, and it does seem like that, you know what I mean? It does seem like 666 over there, so it seems like a portal of the Threads app. And the other one is the three signs. The first one is that beings begin to realize that they are not the body or the mind. They begin to realize that they are pure awareness or consciousness. So that's the first sign. The second sign is they have practiced 50% or more service to others. And they said that 1 year of giving charity, 10% of your income to charity, will guarantee you to enter into the new earth. And the other one is, they said that they begin to feel that they are all the beings in the world. So once you realize that you are everything, then you're ready. That's a sign you're going to graduate into the new earth. So finally, the other one is about the crystal skulls. I believe they said that they were used by the Mayans and other civilizations to primarily initiate spiritual awakening. And furthermore, the past life of Joe Rogan is very interesting. They said that he is actually a fourth density being who is here to spread the message of awakening, and also he is, I believe, from Arcturian star system. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if you want your own past life, your soul name, soul identity, just like Joe Rogan, you can email me. My email is over here, and I will help you out with that. Also, I want to say thank you to all of you for joining on my Patreon, where I have almost 400 sessions, which many of them are censored sessions, many of them I cannot share on YouTube, and we also do meditations. The link is on the description to join my Patreon. Also, thank you to all of you for getting the book version of my channeling sessions if you want to read it in a book format. If not, it is freely available. The link is on the description. So thank you, my friends. I'll see you in the next section. Until then, I hope you'll enjoy this session over here.